smells yummy!
Hello and welcome. Today we're making a family recipe of menudo. Here's my dad to help us and guide us how to do the process. He's going to be saying it in Spanish and I'll be saying it in English.
Bueno, pues voy a decirle a mi hija aquí como he hecho el menudo yo en la casa. Como pueden ver, está entero en pedazos grandes. Este pedazo se llama pancita. Nosotros le llamamos panalillo o corralito. Y este es el mentado libro, book. Aquí, ven, parece un libro, tiene las páginas, ¿verdad? Esto es al gusto de cada quien. A mí me gusta así. Vamos a partirlo en cachitos, en pedazos pequeños y a lavarlo con limón. Limón para que le quite el aroma. Y es lo que vamos a hacer. Chilitos, guajillo, cebolla, ajo y esta Yerba Buena o menta. Esto le da sabor increíble. Y sal. Es todo lo que se ocupa.
They're really simple ingredients for a family recipe. He was explaining the type of beef tripe that you were using. This is beef. It's the stomach of lining of the cow. There's different types, so this is kind of like the texture of one of them. It looks like carpet if you can see. It's just the lining, different parts of the lining of the stomach of the cow. And this is what he was saying is called libro, because it looks like it has, we call it in Spanish libro because it looks like a book if you can see. It's another part of the cow. This one is a little bit more expensive, but personally, me and my family, we love it, so we make sure we always include it. And this is the honeycomb, which as you can see looks like a honeycomb a little bit of this part of the cow. So this is the typical type of linings of the parts of the menudo that we use. And then we are using lemon. This is to rinse it and prepping it, and it gives it a nice flavor for this type of meat. So we're using just regular, you can use any type of lemon, and around 8 to 10 lemons is fine. We're using large ones. Chile California, this is the California chiles. The quantity can be around 8 to 10. So this is what we're using. One whole onion. We're using red onion, but you can use white onion. Whole head of garlic. And this is like an important piece to give it flavor. We're using fresh Mexican peppermint, or Yerba Buena, that's the name in Spanish. So this one, fresh is the best. And then salt. Simple ingredients. Let's get started. Well, the first step is to boil and soften our chiles. So make sure you just put them in water and start boiling them, and then we're gonna start prepping our menudo meat.
Ok, lo primero que vamos a hacer es cortar el menudo en pedacitos. El menudo se reduce siempre, se hace pequeño. Vamos a tratar de hacerlo en pedazos de unas 3 pulgadas, 2 o 3 pulgadas. Así, cortado. Like this, así.
Make sure that when you're cutting your menudo pieces, they're around 2 to 3 inches, because when you cook it, it's gonna shrink in size. So make sure that you cut it into these pieces. This is the size if you want, because if you cut them too small, they're gonna be like nothing, because it's gonna reduce like by an inch or so. And the reason it's in water, you want to make sure you wash and clean your menudo really well, depending how your store sells it. Our stores already sell it really nice and clean, but we still wash it with water before we put the lemon. I know the pieces may look too big, but trust me, it's gonna reduce in size, and you wanna have, you wanna have some meat, and you don't want it to disappear. That is super tiny. Some people prefer feet, the cow feet too. Those we recommend if you're putting cow feet. This time we're not using it, but sometimes we do. That you cook them separately, because those take longer to cook. This one doesn't take that long to cook compared to cow feet.
Ok, el libro lo vamos a dejar entero. No lo vamos a cortar. Va a ser entero porque se puede desbaratar, se puede hacer pedazos pequeños. Se echa entero a la olla y se echa después, se pone después de aquel, un poco después, porque se recoce mucho.
So this one, make sure you don't cut this one into smaller pieces because this type of meat, it cooks really fast and it can like, disappear or like fall apart. So this one we're gonna cook it whole and separately, well, not separately, but later after it's been boiling, because you don't want to put it all together because this one is gonna cook super fast. So it's more delicate for this type of meat. That's why, but it's delicious. If you have access to find it at your store, make sure you buy it.
Okay. Vamos a cortar los limones en mitades.
So we're cutting the lemons in halves, and we're gonna. It has water in the containers where we have our menudo meat, and you're just gonna pour the lemon on top. You make sure you add all the lemon juice that you have, and leave the water. It's not just pure lemon; it has water in there too.
No es ceviche, eh?
No es ceviche. It's not. Don't treat it as ceviche. We're just gonna let it marinate for like maybe 15 to 30 minutes as the recommended time. Because then we're not making ceviche. It's not gonna cook in the lemon like ceviche does.
Solo para quitarle el aroma que huele al
It's just the purpose of the lemon is to get rid of the stomach smell that originally arrives with the meat. Is part of the meat. It's just kind of to finish the cleaning process. Some people use white vinegar, but that's, depending on preference. We prefer lemon because it gives it a nice, it complements it.
Okay, quitar más limones. Okay. Vamos a echarle al librito. Bien. Y esto lo meneamos que se impregne bien. Esto.
Yeah, it feels like we're making ceviche.
Sí,
but
con 10 minutos que esté en el...
10 minutos? The least you can give is 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be that long. This is because... Porque no se va a drenar el limón, se va a dejar ahí. So we're not going to drain the lemon juice. We're going to cook it with this lemon juice.
Nomás lo vas a estilar. O si igual lo puedes enjuagar.
Yeah, it's up to you. You can rinse it, but it's just you just get rid of it, but you don't completely. Well, for a recipe, we don't completely like rinse it again because we want to still have a little bit of the lemon essence in it.
Okay, pues ya pasó un ratito. Esto ya está listo.
So it's been around 10 minutes.
Estilarlo.
So just take it out of the bowl. You don't have to completely like drain it and dry it. It's optional if you want to do that. For us, we're not gonna cook it with the same water. We're taking it out of the water and we're gonna put clean water and cover it completely.
Ahí está. Y vamos a agregar la cebolla. Vamos a ponerle el ajo. Le corté aquí para que suelte más sabor el ajo. ¿Sí ves este pedacito? Se lo cortamos. Ahí está. Esta va hasta el último, no ahorita no.
So the reason we didn't cut the onion in pieces, because this onion, we want to give it the flavor and cook it. We're going to use it for blending it later along with the garlic with our chiles. So this one, that's why we only cut it a little bit. We don't want to make sure they don't disappear in the caldo or in the water. And then this one is going to be on to last. It's for extra flavor. And definitely don't forget your salt.
Vamos a poner más.
We're starting with the salt, and then we're going to put the water. Later on, once it's like cooked, we're going to rectify based on if we need more salt or not.
Okay. Listos.
A cocinar.
Fire.
Y
Water.
el agua. Make sure you cover it completely. Everything is covered.
Porque se evapora. Voy a estar vigilando.
We're gonna be checking it because we want to make sure it has enough water because menudo goes great with the more they call it caldo, the better. Our menudo has been boiling for around 15-20 minutes, and we're gonna let it cook for another 30 minutes because they can take from 45 to an hour, or depending on the quantity, it can take over an hour to cook completely. This one is around 5 pounds, So it's gonna take roughly 45 to an hour to cook. So we haven't put the last meat yet, which is the one that looks like a book, the librillo. This one we're gonna add it when it's completely cooked. We're gonna add this one because this one cooks really fast. So you can see it's boiling. It doesn't have the chile yet. That's gonna be the last part to put on it. It's similar process to making kind of like pozole. You add the chile at the end. The menudo has been cooking for around 35 minutes, so this is the time we're gonna add the rest of the meat that cooks faster, which is the librillo, this one, the best one. So we're gonna add it. Because we have probably another 20 minutes until it's completely cooked, everything. You can see this is, look at the size, it reduced already, and this is probably going to be the size that it's going to stay when it's done. It's a good size. For us, we prefer this size. We don't want it too small. Some people prefer them small, so it's up to you how you prefer it when eating your menudo. And as you can see, the water has reduced, so we can add more water later on when we add the sauce, but that way you have more, it can be more caldo, more soupy, you know. So it's on preference. For us, we like it more like on the watery side. We don't like it thick for a personal recipe for family. We don't like it thick. Some people prefer it thick. That's fine. It's on preference.
Ok, pues ya vamos a sacar. Y esto ya casi está, ¿eh? La cebolla. Vamos a buscar el ajo.
So we're gonna take out the cooked onion and the garlic because we're gonna blend it with our chiles. They're already soft and they cooled down a little bit, so it's a little bit easier. So the water already evaporated a lot more. So we're gonna add more water whenever we're blending. And then that's when we're gonna rectify with the salt.
Okay.
So we're gonna blend all of this together. I'm blending everything with the same water that I used to cook the chiles in. Our chili is blended completely. It's time we're gonna use a strainer to strain it. Make sure there is nothing left for chunks or anything, just to make sure. Our menudo has been cooking close to an hour and it's almost completely cooked. So with the chile, we're gonna let it cook for probably another 10 minutes or so. That way all the flavors can mix in and we mix everything together and it combines with all the flavors and they simmer together. So all the chile sauce is already completely, as you can see, this is what we wanted to avoid in our menudo because we wanted to make it nice and light with not chunks of anything. That's how we prepare it. So this is, you can add more water, a little bit more water to completely make sure we strain everything completely, and you're just left with whatever the seeds that didn't blend completely in the blender. So it's almost done. I'm gonna taste it so we can see we need more salt. It's good. For my liking, it's good. We don't need any more salt. We're gonna finish letting it boil a little bit. This is the time that you add your fresh Yerba Buena or Mexican peppermint, and we're gonna mix it up in there. let me show you how it's looking so far. So this is just to give it extra flavor. This piece right here, we just chop it later on as to the size that everybody, if anybody wants some. But everything else, it's almost just like I said, another 10 minutes or so, and it's ready to go. You don't want to keep boiling it for too long, because then the meat is gonna disappear or gonna overcook too much. While we wait for the menudo to be completely ready, we pepper veggies, which is just onion, the lemons. I have a recipe that I make my homemade hot chili oil. This one's super easy to make, but it adds the spiciness that you want with the menudo. It pairs really well with the menudo. And let's not forget our oregano leaves. This is dried oregano. It's one of the essential parts of serving it with menudo. And of course, don't forget your tortillas, but anything else that you want to eat it with, this is what we use to top it for toppings of preference. It's time to serve our menudo. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to take out the big piece of the librillo, or the one that looks like a book, because I'm going to chop it up to serve it first before I serve everything. So we're going to, this is the time to cut this part. Just cut it into pieces that you prefer, same size as the other one. It's very hot, so we gotta be a little careful with this one. You put it right here on the plate. This one, as you can see, yeah, it's just a little bit, because this meat, they don't sell it everywhere, but it's really delicious to complement the menudo. Time to serve the rest of our menudo. It's been about an hour, a little bit over an hour that it's been cooking in total, so it's ready to go. It smells delicious. Oh, I love the smell of freshly cooked menudo. This is a great, today's Sunday, so it's a great typical Sunday breakfast. Traditional in Mexico, everybody eats it on Sunday morning. And this doesn't have the hominy that some people put in it, because we're from Jalisco, and in Jalisco we don't use it like that. In other part, in the northern section of Mexico, they do eat it like that. But it's by preference. You can, if you still want to eat it with hominy, you can get a can of hominy or fresh hominy and add it to your menudo. But for us, we prefer it like this. Don't forget to add your oregano, dry oregano, your lemon, and don't forget the onion. You can use white onion. Don't forget your chile. I'm gonna use my hot oil. This one I'm using a little bit because I know it's super spicy, but it's the best part to add to it, like to add the extra flavor. For me, I like. And your tortilla. I have the tortillas over here, nice and warm. You make your taco. This is how you eat it. You make your taco. Dip it. Let's see.
¿Está bien? Qué bueno.
That is yummy. Delicious. Delicioso. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share this video if you like it. And we'll see you next time in our next video.